Hello. What's up? Hope everyone's doing well. Excited for what's to come. I know I am. I know I'm hell of excited. Chat, go away. Not you, chat. That chat. What's up, D-Land? Nukes, Kaiser? Nats, Booms. Hope everyone's doing well. What's up, Nukes? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hypoo! I know I'm hype. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. I've been here for 3 hours. What's up, Trust? All of the waiting. Look at this. I saw on Steam. I was like, oh shit, a game about being on the ocean, and it does exactly the thing I've been talking about with like water-based games, where the water is just like kind of a static thing. Let me see if I can, if this has some gameplay, or does it not? It's my greatest design. No, it's wah. What the hell? I don't need more cat emotes. Too many cat emotes as it is. Hold on, is there gameplay in this? Opposing the cats. I am opposing the cats. There was gameplay in that live stream there that they were doing. This doesn't have gameplay in it. Oh, fucking hell. Get out of the menu. Show me gameplay. There's a little bit of gameplay there, but not a lot. This game's basically Rust on water. But if you, okay, so here, if you look at the water in this like clip that this guy's playing, right? This is, I believe this is Unity's built-in water system, because it looks like it from when I was messing with it. It might not be, but it looks like it. Their boat mechanical system is very cool. Like building the boat out and fleshing the boat out is very, very cool. But the water in the game has a very non-impactful system to it, as far as I can tell from, like, I was looking at the live stream here for a little bit, and it's like a flat plane that makes your boat move. It doesn't like do anything gameplay wise because the camera is so far out and your aiming reticle isn't shifted by the water, and it's a generic rolling tide at all times, like this, right? So like once you get a bigger boat, it's even less impactful on the boat. Like here it looks impressive, like, oh, you're like, okay, that's cool, but notice how his reticle doesn't change with the water. It doesn't, he's not bobbing up and down. The way he's aiming doesn't shift. There's no, like, it looks impressive to move on like this, right? But there's no real weight to what you're doing. There's nothing, it's just, yeah, it's moist ground. It's a way to move, and the bigger the boat, the less impactful the waves are on it. And it's not really changing the gameplay elements in any way. I know it would, but like, in terms of like, I looked at this and thought, okay, someone's making something, something's making something that looks akin to what I want it to be, in terms of like all this boat stuff and all these things. But realistically, what this is you could do this with a car. You could do this with anything, where the water physics themselves are kind of there, so they don't have to make landscapes. But it's close. It's getting very close to what I would want to be, like, a, you know, the style of game that I wanted to. But this is basically Rust on boats. It's got PvP and stuff in it as well, so it's definitely not what I want to do, because it doesn't have like trade routes and stuff like that in it. It's mostly this, but like here you can see in the little bit of combat footage, like the bigger boats, you're kind of just aiming and firing. Do you still do UV therapy in dark months? I have no idea. I don't think so. I think in some places they might still do it. But yeah, it's like, this is cool if you're into like Rust with boats, but it's not what I'm looking for. It's not the game that I desire. It's more like, you can see here from like the gameplay, right? The fact that it's on water is kind of not doing anything, right? Like, the water is not obscuring your vision. It's not really stopping you from doing anything. He's just firing with a reticle that isn't moving. There's nothing happening to his boat as a result of being on water. The waves are bouncing him around, but it's like, the scale of because of the camera angle and stuff like that, you can't really, it's not, the water is not in any way an element of the gameplay, other than it is what the terrain you're moving on is. You can dive in gear, have a tugboat that's basically a giant water base. Oh really? But that's kind of cool. Man, Rust has evolved a lot then. But like, yeah, like in combat is when you really notice it, where like, yeah, they got the cool weather effects and the boats bouncing and stuff, but for me it doesn't really have any impact. There's no sails, so there's no wind, there's nothing forcing your boat to do, you know, shift and steer. You don't slow down. It's all, you know, motorized engines and stuff. It's all the water itself isn't actually part of the gameplay. It's such a crazy emote. Right. It's not a big water physics simulator. It's its own thing. Yeah. But like, yeah, Rust is crazy then if they've evolved to that state. But for me, it's like that was a great example of a game doing water, but the water is more of a background for their customizable ship to ride on, rather than being a part of the gameplay elements themselves, other than the fact that you're piloting a boat. Which is I think one of the difficult things for me to like super convey, especially when I talk about the idea of like what I'm looking for in a boat game. I want the water to be more Valheim-y, more, you know, going up and down and being on the waves and having the wind move you, you know, slower one way, faster another way, and having to think about which way you're going. On the ocean, when, you know, the wind for that day is going right versus left, or north versus east and stuff like that. Fishing saves. Gotcha, boom. Yeah, it's more simulation. Yeah. I want the combat and what you're doing to be arcadey. You know, I would love to have, you know, the way you board a ship is a grappling hook that you hook onto the enemy's mast when the mast breaks, and you pull yourself over and do some swashbuckling when, you know, when a ship is down to 5% HP to try to get yourself a bit more loot. You know, I would love that kind of stuff to be there. The combat and all that stuff is very arcadey, but I want the water to feel like it has an impact. Like, you know, you do think about where you're exploring by the way of the winds or by the storms that are on the ocean. And I want in combat, when you're fighting someone on a ship, NPCs on a ship, I want the big wave to come up and obscure your vision and not know what's going on. And when the wave comes down, the ship's not there anymore because maybe, you know, they rode the wave a little bit to the left. And, you know, I want that kind of feeling of the water. The water almost being an element that's like, you know, you're fighting 1.5 enemies. You're fighting the enemy in the water, and the wind and the conditions. I want that to be part of the gameplay. Because I like it in, what's up, Moy? I like it in games like Star Sector where you have, you know, you have nebulas that are in the fight and they obscure your vision and they hamper your communication systems and stuff like that. I like it when games put elemental elements of the world into the combat. Same as Mountain Blade, you know, if you run through a forest, you're gonna have to weave through the trees on your horse and it slows you down. Or hills and stuff like that, or water, like Mountain Blade, same thing with water. You know, when you go through water, you slow down. You're trudging through it. If you're on a horse, you're a little bit quicker. It makes the terrain and the elements of the terrain more noticeable and more like part of the actual world you're in, rather than the backdrop of where the fight is happening. And I think for me, a lot of where the boat piratey games of current generation, even Skull and Bones is kind of susceptible to this, which is just like the water is a backdrop. It's where the combat is happening, but it doesn't put any elements of the combat into itself. You're excited? Fuck yeah, so am I. I am super hyped to get to see more Poe goodness. That's 100%. I am super hyped. I wanna get some new transfig skills and all that stuff in there, just to like really deep dive into it. Get to enjoy all of the goodness that's coming from it. I got Poe open in the background. Let me, I guess, log in real quick. I think they will. I think they will. I'd be surprised if they don't. Once again, chuck out some fantastic things. Where's the music from? It's just the live stream music. Just bass Poe. Yep. Just the bass Poe music from this. Just chilling on it. I changed the VOD for this section to be so that it records the sound. So that I have it in the VOD track as well. We got Hooin' with the boys for 2 minutes. Yep, we're close. This guy was cool. This guy was very cool. I wish this guy was a little bit more doable with other setups rather than just needing the Mageblood setup. Like, you could do it with other things, but it definitely used most of its punch with the Mageblood. But it was a cool setup. I liked it. How good their Poe music is. Yeah, it's good. It's very, very good. This guy's the one that's currently wearing my Mageblood, isn't it? And watch Lee Slammer much? He was short-lived as a build, but he was very, very fun for the time that he was. Cyclone. Oh right, this was the cock freeze thing. Dragon Age Origins. It's funny how music can do that. Sometimes you just like remember other things from it because it's got a similar vibe or style to it. Yeah, some of them were. I mean, let me see how long I played most of these. /played.
Impressive, Challenger.
Dear chat, hype.
Hype indeed. Trino, thank you so much for the 35. Appreciate you sticking around, support the content. Hopefully it's been good. I'm hyped. I am hyped indeed. One day 15. Was it firm? One day 2. So 7 hour. Okay, so these are. Okay, so that was 4 streams. That is 5 streams for Double Cock Cyclone. That was 4 days and 13 hours because this was my starter. So that would have been 8, 16. This would have been 5 streams. 8. No, this would have that would have been 20 streams. Would have been this one character. Okay. That would have been 5-ish streams on this guy for Void Suck.
That would just make life complicated.
Okay. Is that right? 21. There's 3. Yeah, 4 or 5. 4 or 5. Any leaks yet? Nah. That would have been 5 streams as well. 4 or 5 streams as well. Five, 6 streams on this guy. This was... Oh, the Unearth build. This thing was cool. The DD Unearther, yeah. 6 streams or so. That was 4 streams. Yeah, that was the Nagamoos. That one didn't work out that well. So yeah, I mean, I'd say on average about 5 streams a build. One was 4, one was 6, and then one was fucking 20. And then a couple deleted characters in between there overall. So I mean, yeah, I would say overall that's pretty consistent for me. 5 is pretty good for a league character for me to go through and kind of explore all the avenues that I want to explore on and then move on. Yeah, most of them have about 24 hours on them. 24 and plus, so it's about I'd say on average I got about 28 hours out of each one of my characters. So if we just, you know, do the math, 28 times divided by 7, 4 days. If it's like pure play time and I'm not switching between characters or anything like that. So I'd say on average I got about 5 hours of 5 hours of character time or 5 streams of character time out of each of my characters. 7 days on your level 100. Yep. Yep. I mean, I really enjoyed the fuck out of this league, so it was fun. I'm so glad this is being changed so that we can like run the bosses and do the invitations and stuff, because one of the reasons I just didn't do that many bosses is because I kept running out of fucking invites. Like, you know, having to do this over and over again where I got fuck tons of feared, a couple forgottens, a couple hiddens, and then the rest of the invites are missing. Like, I just didn't do bossing because I didn't want to pay like a divine or fucking 2 for some of these invites, and I kind of just stopped bossing as a result of not getting the mavens. Going from there, and after Moxwaddle, I didn't really land on another character that was like really good for bossing in general. Moxwaddle was definitely my best bosser. All my builds could like do most of the Ubers to a degree. Some of them couldn't, but I never really got a build that like had the full conglomerate mesh to do what they needed to do. Surprisingly, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. It's best for racers, I guess. I mean, it's really good for me. I know some people are like annoyed by it for yeah, it's the reskin of the Amethyst Flask. For like being able to sell invites as their primary means of making dosh, but you know, realistically it's kind of whatever on that front to me. It's not so much a thing I care about. I guess the other thing I need to do is, like I said, once I'm done with the league, I should just take all my builds and put them in their own tab. And then that way I don't have to worry about deleting these characters and like looking at what their items are. I could just take the gear, chuck it in a tab, and be like, that character's gear is in a tab, and I can worry about it later. Cause yeah, most of the stuff is being deleted anyway, so like the charms and all that stuff. I think it's a net positive. Yeah, I agree. I think for the most part we're definitely in a better slot as a result of all that stuff. I guess I'll just close Poe for now. I agree. All right, let's see. I'm gonna boost up the volume of this a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of these characters, once the charms and stuff get deleted, I'm gonna figure out if that's a good volume level, but I boosted the volume up a little bit for you guys. Once a lot of these characters get deleted, the key things that are making them function get deleted, then it really won't be useful to keep those characters around. What's your take on left click change? I liked it. I use left click a lot. I can adapt to it, sure. If that's what it is, then that's what it is. That's the new style of it. I think it feels really bad to have a mechanic that we've had in the game, especially a keybind, something so fucking straightforward, and then remove it. But if they have a justification, if they have a reason that they're doing it and they think it's good, then it is what it is, yeah. Let's get ready for Poe 2. I really don't think that's what it is. I think they just, I don't know. Yeah, I would be surprised if it's not addressed in something. Hope you're well, Rob. Cause yeah, I don't know. It feels weird. It feels weird to take that away. Was it lonely? Enjoy? We shall. I'm excited. I'm excited. Very, very excited for where this is going. All good, Goops, all good. Enjoy the mainstream. Oh, man. Yeah, everyone's got drops. It's just category-wide. Drops are always enabled. Unless you opt out of drops, you can't. You basically can't turn off drops. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, the autonomous like thing is still very fucking cool. Like as far as like an auto cast instant skills, like yeah, you know, we Viraj brought up the idea of doing like Frostblink automation, and then you know, having a weird flicker strike that Frostblinks, and then you use Stampedes to do it. And see the banner at the top? I think it only turns on in 4 minutes, so the banner is not there yet. Hell yeah, Furrow, hell yeah. Because I think it's from 4+ going forward is when the drops happen, so it's not on as a result. That's why the banner's not there. Log the fuck in. Pathfinder nerf Inc. Is that the idea right now? Coffee, man. It's root beer and tortillas. I got a cup of tea and a 0 sugar cream soda Dr. Pepper, because that's what my mom drinks and she left one here, so I was like, all right. Remove the live button from your mouse. Just remove it entirely. And never play mines? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe mines and stuff like that has a different change too. Because yes, I would agree. I'm not entirely convinced that mines playstyle for mapping is gonna feel good without the left click thing, because I don't know, I always put my mine stuff on left click. I know it wasn't optimal for like blast range chaining and stuff like that, but maybe it'll be okay with automaton. What's up, Strikes? Maybe it'll be okay with automaton. You just put in detonate mines on automate or something, but Alrighto. That
Impressive,
reminds me.
Challenger.
How fucking dare I miss a resub?
Thanks so much, Mutant, for the 33 months. Appreciate the extended support. I forgot to turn on. Yeah, let me mute alerts and all that stuff for the stream. Was it randoms? Boom. Muting your power, yes. Okay, that's all muted. I just muted it. I guess it'll pop up on stream if it pops up, but I'll mute it so it's not something we actually hear. 'Cause I don't need that stuff like making noise. Alright, let's fucking do this. Tell me about the audio. If the audio is loud or cold or warm or hot, I'll move stuff around. Once it starts. Time to react. That way I can like get those react clips. No, that's not gonna happen. Mainstream and permanent stream, are they? Nukes? Hell yeah. Shingles at 36.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
It's him!
Welcome to our live stream. We have a busy lineup today with announcements for Path of Exile 2, as well as the exclusive reveal of Path of Exile Necropolis, which launches on March 29th. For the first time ever, we'll be releasing this expansion simultaneously on all platforms, PC, Mac, and console.
Cool.
Twitch drops are enabled on today's live stream,
Okay.
so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your suffering back attachment. Today's stream will start with Path of Exile 2, where Jonathan will show you our latest announcements. Mark will then take you on a deep dive into the new Path of Exile Necropolis Challenge League, which launches in 1 week. He'll cover the league mechanics, its deep crafting system, large in-game changes, some improvements to the core Path of Exile campaign, and finally some quality of life features.
Fuck.
We'll then show you our new supporter packs, and we'll head into a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask us your questions from Twitch chat.
Okay.
After the live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes.
I'm gonna be reading a lot of
Hey
stuff.
guys, it's time to chat about PoE 2 again. It's only been a few months since we talked about the Mercenary, and yet even since then a huge amount has changed.
See his knee.
When we announced the Mercenary, we also showed off a lot of the new capabilities that our engine has around animation and character control. Moving while shooting was a huge deal in that class, but there were a lot of other more subtle things going on to make it feel good too. Well, in recent times we've only been showing off new character classes, but one thing I've been really excited about is to go back and apply all the new ideas and capabilities that we have to our old classes too.
Fuck yeah.
Today I'd like to show off the Ranger, and I hope that you guys like what you see.
Alright, so we're going old school, but revamped. Revamped old school.
I've lived in this forest all my life. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's that a ranger must never miss.
Right?
A beast will hunt you. But it is the cruelty of man I fear.
I'll take your finger.
Oh.
There is no truly escaping the Count's justice.
Your sentence is to be hanged from the neck until dead. Let your souls feed the first ones.
I'm a big boy.
Let your bodies feed the land. After her.
Wait, what just happened? That was the gameplay, man. That was the gameplay.
This exile has changed me. No more running. No more fear.
That seemed unnecessary.
This time.
I will put an end to this madness.
Man, a job to finish. It did look like mounted combats.
Warning, Gianor. I'm coming for you next.
There's a lot of boss showcases there. They're going hard on the boss stuff. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like seeing more boss stuff.
Let the hunt begin.
A more boss focused thing is definitely cool for WASD.
When we started to work on the Ranger, we knew we had to make a class with high agility. The dream of fast bow gameplay is Legolas, so that's what we wanted to deliver. The starting point is moving while shooting a bow. Any kind of basic arrow skill can be fired while moving, with a movement penalty.
Cool.
This immediately gives you a lot more freedom on the battlefield.
Hell yeah.
Here, I'm starting each battle with a poison burst arrow to poison groups of enemies, then using a lightning arrow to arc lightning around larger packs. For even more mobility, we also have a variety of skills that involve vaulting around the battlefield too. This is Frost Escape. Using it jumps backwards and shoots a freezing arrow at the ground. Really useful if monsters close on you and you need to get away. Once you've landed, if monsters were frozen, it'd be nice to have some way to take advantage of that extra time. This is where Snipe comes in. Snipe is a skill shot that you need to charge up and release at exactly the right time. If you land the right timing, Snipe is guaranteed to produce a critical strike, and does a small AoE as well, so it's a great finisher.
Oh man. Timing-based combat.
Shooting arrow rain skills too. This skill is Lightning Rod. It shoots an arrow into the air that sticks into the ground and does a small AoE. Once the rods are in the ground though, they attract any arcs of lightning that are nearby, causing them to explode again. This means you can stack up a bunch of lightning rods on the ground and bounce lightning between them, doing way more damage.
The environment's amazing.
Now this takes care of packs pretty well, but for bigger enemies I'd like to have something that's going to enhance my damage output too. This skill is Stormcaller Arrow. Using it sticks an arrow into an enemy. After a short period of time, a lightning bolt comes from the sky and strikes them. This has a high chance to shock them, and shocked enemies take 30% more damage from all sources. If something big walks along, it's a good idea to throw one of these at them first to enhance your damage before following up with the other combo. Now if I really want to enhance this combo, there are a couple of things I can do using our support gem system. Skills in Path of Exile are granted by items called skill gems. Each skill gem has coloured sockets in it, and these sockets are for other items called support gems. Support gems modify your skills, and it's where a huge amount of the customization of your character comes from. First, I'm going to take this multiple projectile support gem. I could add it to my lightning arrow, and it would fire multiple
Square
arrows.
flask.
This would increase the number of targets I can hit, but that isn't the effect that I'm after. If I add it to my lightning rod skill instead, then when I fire it, I get a nice group of rods. This means that I don't have to spend as much time setting up before I can use it with my lightning arrow combo.
Right.
I might also add faster projectiles to make the lightning rods land faster too. Now next up I'm going to grab this chain support gem. Chaining causes many effects to repeat on new targets when you hit them. If I add it to my lightning arrow, it will cause the arcs that come out of lightning arrow to strike even more targets, rippling along my line of lightning rods
so bright.
for huge amounts of damage.
Duration.
Now I think we can use support gems to improve Stormcaller Arrow as well. Let's start simple. I'm going to chuck less duration on here. This will cause the lightning from the sky to strike a bit faster.
This is going to hurt.
Next up we have a support called Shock Proliferation.
You
This
can definitely
support makes it
tell.
so that any enemies shocked by the skill will also have the shock jump to nearby enemies, meaning they'll take the extra damage as well.
You can definitely tell that this like showcase of Poe 2 is.
It's just a chance to proc, so it's not going to proc on every single pack, but when it does, a pack will go down ultra quick.
Yeah, it's very much aimed at the people who aren't currently playing Poe
Another
1.
useful empowering skill is Barrage. Barrage is one of the rare cooldown skills in PoE 2. It enhances whatever your next attack is to fire 3 times. With what we have here, I think it might be a good idea to use it with Lightning Arrow. It'll generate 3 times as many lightning explosions.
So it becomes like a.
You could also use it
buff.
at just the right moment with Snipe, or any number of other skills depending on what effect you need more of right now. It's very versatile and can be used in a range of
Yeah, it's
situations.
combo stuff. True nukes, yeah.
Now, even as mobile as the Ranger is, it's still very useful to slow monsters down, and a Ranger certainly has quite a few tools to do this. If you're prepared to get up close and personal, we have a skill called Electrocuting Rod. First, jump over the enemy and shoot it into them. Once the rod's in place, any lightning damage they take will build up a special electrocute gauge. Once the gauge is full, the monster is totally suppressed, allowing you to kill them easily. Now, sometimes when you use electrocuting rod, the enemy dies before you get a chance to electrocute them. I think there's another support gem I could add to my lightning arrow to fix this problem. Neural overload will make it easier to electrocute enemies. If the skill it's attached to puts them over 50% of their electrocute bar, it will trigger instantly.
I wonder, he said shock always makes him take 30% damage. It sounds like they took out like shock effect and stuff. Good change. Yeah. Because it's just like
now, this
if
skill
shocked.
works really well for suppressing a single large enemy, but I'd like to improve my crowd control ability for groups as well. I'm going to add a support gem called Frozen Nexus to my Frost Escape. This makes an area of chilled ground around frozen enemies. I'll also add Deep Freeze to it as well, which will make the freezes last a bit longer.
Need for problem to start with boss
Now
HPs.
when I use my Frost Escape on that front enemy, others nearby are slowed down. It would also be good if I had a way to slow enemies down when they're farther
There's
away.
so
from them
many
as well.
skills going
So this
on
would be
here.
a great time to start getting into the ranger's poison and plant-based skill set. To start with, let's have a look at Vine Arrow. This skill fires an arrow into the air that creates a small plant where it lands. The plant sends out tendrils to nearby enemies, slowing them down and poisoning them. But it does have another function too. If the plant gets further poisoned, it transfers that poison to the monsters it's attached to. Normally you would only be able to get one stack of poison on a monster at a time, but you can put as much poison as you want on this plant. You could just use the plant to slow monsters down and not worry about the poison part. But if you want to go all in on poison, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, okay.
Now if you do want to focus on poisons more, another useful skill is Poison Bloom Arrow. This skill creates these plant pustules on the ground. If you wait a little while, they'll explode.
It sounds like it's one stack only, yeah.
Just like
one
any
big
other
poison.
plant skill, these plants respond well to poison. Shoot the Poison Burst arrow at enemies nearby and watch your plants grow more and more powerful. Poisoning the pustules causes them to do much more damage and makes them explode much faster as well. I can also add the Pierce support to Poison Burst arrow. Doing this will mean I get multiple poison bursts as it goes through each monster.
It does sound like Toxic Rain, yeah. Just a little bit different.
We also have another skill to make a nice environment for your plants to grow. Gas Cloud Arrow. This skill shoots the ground and creates a cloud of gas that continuously poisons things inside it.
Isn't that just Caustic Arrow?
Throw your plants down, then put a gas cloud on top. The constant poisoning will make them grow.
Oh no, but it's a ticking poison, so it grows the plants. Okay, so it's a little different, but
Another poison-related skill we have on the Ranger is called Plague Bearer. This is a reservation skill, meaning it uses Spirit. When I enable it, I get this counter that counts up whenever I apply poison to a monster. You can see the counter on the skill increasing as each new monster is poisoned. Now I'm going to fight these monsters and make sure to poison them as much as I can to build up the counter.
right. Yeah, you can move stuff a lot easier by the looks of it, which is kind of cool.
It does take quite a while to get the counter up to 100%, but it's worth it. Whenever I choose, I can unleash the poison in a big explosion around my character, dealing a large amount of damage.
I'll be honest, I didn't even notice he used it there. There was too much going on for it to showcase
Now,
anything.
next up we have a classic, Rain of Arrows. It's simple. Shoot a bunch of arrows in the sky, and they rain down for a short time. It's decent AoE and damage at long range. Now this skill doesn't last too long, but we can change that. It's time to introduce Frenzy Charges.
I'll be honest,
Frenzy
like,
Charges are used for a variety of skills on the Ranger, but with Rain of Arrows they can be used to extend the duration.
You're mine.
How do we get some though?
I really like what
Here
I'm
we have a skill
seeing,
called Sniper's Mark.
but
Put it on an enemy and it will grant you a frenzy charge when you crit them. Now remember that snipe skill from earlier? That skill guarantees a critical hit. So first we Sniper's Marked an enemy, then we sniped them.
I feel like
the next rain of arrows will last a really,
they're
really long
talking
time.
about Poe 2's
We
like
still have
support
some
system
weaknesses, though.
to people
While
that
Rain of
are
Arrows
not
has enemies
playing
with a ton
Poe
of
1,
arrows, each one doesn't
but they're
do much damage
throwing
individually.
way too much
It
shit
would
at
be nice
someone
if
who
we had a
doesn't
way to
play
break
Poe.
the armor on enemies so that Rain of Arrows dealt more damage.
Like, I'm having
Thankfully, we have
difficulty
this
keeping up
corrode
with
armor
how
support
many
kit,
fucking
and we can put
things
it
they're
on our gas
showcasing.
Corrode armor causes poison to erode the armor on targets until it's all gone. This will significantly increase the damage that Rain of Arrows does against armored targets.
Like, I'm hyped for fucking Poe
yeah,
2,
one more thing
but
about
even
gas
I'm
bombs.
kind
They
of
can be
glazing over with
detonated
just
with
how
explosions.
much they're
I have an
showing
explosive
here.
arrow here. Let's check it out.
Like, it's just like, it's so much.
Now, because monsters and gas clouds are likely to have their armor broken, I think there's another
Road
useful combo
armor.
we can
Well,
do.
maybe now we'll use it.
This is an exploit weakness support. This support provides extra bonus damage to targets that have their armor broken.
Huh?
Perfect for what we have going on here.
Yeah, this is too much. This is way too much skills.
So, those are just some of the skills we have on the Ranger class in Path of Exile 2.
Uh-huh.
Now that we've seen all these skills, let's see how well they do against a much tougher enemy. It's time to fight the boss of the temples, Thanos.
What do you mean some? They mean some. Alright. Boss design looks fucking cool though. That's like, I do love the way that the boss design is designed. Thanos, not Thanos. We're not snapping gauntlets here. Yeah, the boss design, the boss fights look fucking sick though. Like, we do look something else. Like, yeah, this stuff looks really fucking cool. Is that stance meter? Good question. It broke there. Oh, he gets stunned for a second. It's literally stance break. No, agreed, Rob. And I don't think you will. I don't think in a normal situation you'll be using that many skill gems and all that stuff. Like, you'll still be making characters around the idea of, like, you know, poison stacking, whatever. 100%, but because he's using like armor break into other stuff and just like weaving the skills like that just, unless all the scaling in Poe 2 is generic as fuck that just says damage with bows, I don't think you can make a build where you're using armor break, poison, lightning. I think they have no gear with it. I think the poison is there just to be showcased. Hey look, we can play Touhou now in Poe. What? He got hit by that like point blank and he didn't take but like a third of his HP. He's just tanking those. Can't see their HP. Oh, okay, sorry. Don't worry, he was just tanking him.
This is how you survive.
And that's the Ranger. But oh yeah, there was one more thing. The mount. Check this out.
Huh?
Yes, you can ride a rower. While riding the rower, you can shoot arrows with no movement penalty. It's pretty overpowered. You can also use your vaulting skills to jump right off the rower's back.
Okay.
Once the rower doesn't have a rider, it starts attacking monsters, so he's nice to have around, even if you're not riding him. That said, if you are riding, don't get hit. If you take a heavy stun while on a rower, you'll fall off, and it takes a while to get up, so be careful.
I see.
So that's what we wanted to show you today. Now there is just one more rather unfortunate bit of news. Path of Exile 2's beta is going to be delayed.
Okay.
We previously said that we would get the beta out on June 7th. And while I think we would be able to get the game's content ready in
Yeah.
time, we underestimated how long it would take to get gameplay polished to a standard that we're happy with.
Okay, yeah.
We're still going to be doing alpha testing in June, but we're going to be delaying the beta until later in the year.
It makes
I don't have an
sense.
exact date for you today, but it should be towards the end of the year.
When
In
the
meantime,
original
you can
date
still
was
play
set,
Path
I
of
was
Exile
like,
1, of
that
course.
seems optimistic.
Now, speaking of PoE 1, we also have the 324 expansion to announce. I'm going to hand over to Mark, the game director on PoE 1, to show us what's in store.
Fuck yeah, let's go!
We had a lot of fun making this one, so let's just get straight into it with the trailer for Path of Exile Necropolis.
Fucking go! Hell yeah. Oh, hi, Mark. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What's the new shit? Follow me.
Cold flesh, dirt, maggots, and ghosts. Our job is to keep them where they belong.
Huh?
It's your first night, so you'll need this. A ghostly lantern for ghastly tinkering.
Okay. It is build your own dungeon, is it?
You'll learn to peer into the souls of the dead.
Huh.
You'll learn how to twist them.
Oh, hell yes.
Meet me
Dude.
in the Necropolis.
Oh.
You can pilfer shiny things from a corpse. But you can pilfer glorious
Okay, so we
things from a
bury the
soul.
things we want to fight?
I need
Oh no, that's crafting.
a
That is
grave
synthesis.
digger.
Crafting via corpses. Tier 17. Wait, those are a thing already. Atlas passive trees multiples! Yay! Finally! We don't have to switch passive trees by unmaking! Yes! New penultimate boss! Oh, more transfig gems. Ooh, fire tornado. Let's fucking go! Whoa. That's... Was that like Uber Lycia? What the fuck?
The job's hard, but the pay's good.
That was Uber Lycia.
What do you say?
In the Necropolis League, you will encounter Undertaker Aramor, a man collecting the scattered spirits of the Eternal Empire for a mysterious purpose.
Uh-huh.
These spirits have begun to haunt the monsters of Rayclast, unleashing their ancient fury and sorrow onto the world. The Undertaker will provide you with the Lantern of Aramor, a powerful family heirloom which can illuminate the wrathful spirits haunting monsters throughout Rayclast.
Right.
With it, the Undertaker hopes to employ you to rid Rayclast of this menace, and further his cryptic cause. The lantern can be used when entering any new area. When peering through it, you can examine the spirits haunting that area. The lantern also allows you to manipulate them, letting you configure which monsters are affected by which mods. It would be wise to take your time with your decisions here, for the spirits are not forgiving. When peering through the lantern, you can also see extra details about the packs of monsters in the area. Rowers here are considered common, whereas the water elementals are more scarce. If
Right.
you want things to be easier, you can put the more difficult spirits on the elementals, which you'll encounter less often. We've tried to make sure that by engaging with the lantern, you are able to intelligently control the difficulty in the Necropolis League. The spirits come in a number of forms which represent the danger they pose.
Right.
For example here, the infested vultures are servant haunted, causing them to deal a small amount of increased damage. But the Vol's Vanguard are noble haunted, causing them to deal a large amount of increased damage. As you reach higher level areas in Rayclast, the tier and number of spirits that are haunting monsters will generally increase. Your game knowledge can help you here. If you're aware of the composition of a monster pack, this means certain mods will be easier to manage. For example, the mod that increases a pack's damage for every monster killed has no effect on packs with a single monster, like a Devourer. However, if we found a spirit that makes the strongest monster in a pack deal 100% more damage, well, I'm going to avoid the Devourer. You might have noticed that the Lantern of Aramor provides other useful information, such as the types of abilities monsters use, or the damage types they deal. So for those who are less familiar with how these monsters work, this can be a great way to learn what you're up against. The spirits are constantly moving throughout Rayclast, so if you are finding a campaign area too difficult, you can just wait a few minutes and peer through the lantern again to see what's changed.
Okay.
Of course, powerful spirits beget powerful rewards. There are 2 reasons why you might want to face a challenge now and then. Firstly, not all the spirits are malicious. Sometimes the monsters aren't haunted at all, but are instead devoted. These can grant basic rewards like increased experience, or bigger rewards like spawning the Nameless Seer, an NPC that will grant you a single unique item after you defeat all of the packs affected by that spirit.
Huh.
The more haunted monsters you defeat in the previous area before using the lantern, the more likely the devoted monsters will appear in the next area.
Oh.
Monsters haunted by higher tier spirits will increase the chance of
This
the
has all been in
devoted
the
appearing
campaign
even
so
more,
far.
meaning that sometimes it's worth
Wait a
putting the
second.
hardest modifier possible on very common monsters, if you're brave enough. Again, we've tried hard here to allow players to customize the danger and rewards as much as they can. Aramor is an Undertaker, and you can probably guess what we're taking to him. The second main reward from the Necropolis League is monsters with unresolved anguish. Once slain, their corpses need extra care from the Undertaker, and he will offer to take them back to his necropolis and store them in the morgue. Time to earn your keep. When you are ready, you can visit the morgue to view the monsters you have collected, and then get to work burying them in one of many graves in Aramor's cemetery. For example, we will bury this Katava's Herald.
Right.
Aramor's mysterious soul experiments can coalesce powerful items. Here I've chosen to create a pair of boots.
Of Lunaris, heal your pains and aid this
Right.
soldier, so that you may grace them with fleetness.
Boots.
These boots are useful for my character, but aren't exactly what I hoped for.
They're kind of
And
shit.
this is where the Necropolis crafting system really shines.
Huh?
You'll have noticed that the corpse we collected earlier had a crafting effect on it. In fact, all collected corpses do.
I
If
see.
you bury multiple corpses in the cemetery, all adjacent corpses can be exercised at once to create one item.
Ah, okay.
All
That's
of the crafting effects on those corpses will apply to that same item. This allows you to have either one or many different crafting projects ongoing in the cemetery. For example, next time I try to create boots, I could bury corpses that increase the chance of getting move speed modifiers. To go further, I could use these to generate higher tier modifiers. Then, I could try to bias it towards being an evasion pair with this.
Uh-huh.
Finally, I'll apply some crafting effects that improve the probability of getting good rolls. Now, let's craft our item and see what we get.
Oh, no, okay, it's all connected ones.
Anguish and aid this soldier, so that you
Holy shit, okay.
fleetness.
As you can see now, we have a much better pair of boots, forged from the souls of our enemies.
Okay.
You could even use the entire cemetery to craft one item. There is always something you can do to try and ensure your item will be as best as it can be.
Anguish and aid this soldier.
We hope to see some really crazy grave crafts. If you are lucky, you
You're
might
gonna show me
find
the
corpses
gloves?
with meta crafting modifiers. These can be buried to manipulate your crafting projects in more drastic ways. This one increases the potency of all crafting effects of adjacent undead corpses. Another meta crafting modifier gives a chance to drop an extra item from your craft, with all the same crafting outcomes applied. All
Okay.
you have to do is bury a lot of undead monsters.
Yeah, this feels like you're gonna, like, really work on an item.
This soldier, so that you may shield them from harm.
You can also craft new unique items exclusive to the Necropolis League using this system.
Uniques?
As you explore Rayclast, you might find the corpses of famous Eternal Empire families. And when you bury an entire family together and exorcise them, they will thank you with a unique specific to their lineage.
Oh. I hope so, guys. I really hope so. I don't want to have to, like, burn
For
corpses.
example, the Navalius Inheritance Belt. I'll give you a moment to check that out.
Flask duration, flask about to use 60% effect.
You can use other corpses
That was quick.
alongside them to grant implicit mods, manipulate the values of explicit mods, and more. In
Okay.
this case, with the Parandus Pact, you can even change the modifiers it generates. This unique is a jewel which adds extra stats to passive skills in a radius when socketed into the passive skill tree. The stats it adds are randomly generated, but you can bias it towards a specific type by using other crafting effects, such as this one, which increases the chance of getting life modifiers.
Okay.
Let's see what we get.
It's 1 out of 27 corpses, so no, we will be burning corpses.
Damn, we didn't get it this time. I guess we're gonna have to go and collect more corpses.
Passive skills and radius also grant
Of course,
5% increase.
you can trade the corpses away to other players. All you need to do is purchase empty coffins from the Undertaker and use them on your corpses in the morgue, which will itemize them.
Oh, okay. So 27 total corpses,
Another
or
item
whatever
in
it
the
is.
Necropolis League that you can find are Embers of the Allflame.
Uh,
These are monster spirits that remain living in the Allflame, a powerful ancient artifact of Rayclast. And you can set them free by placing them in the Lantern of Aramor and defeating them. These embers drop throughout Rayclast as itemized packs of monsters. You are able to use these packs to replace the packs in areas. For example, we have found this All-Flame Ember of Tarfor. We can now go to enter the next area and replace one of the monster packs in here. You can see we have also gotten one of the devoted modifiers to appear. We can pair up the Karui ancestors with this modifier, making them even more rewarding. Let's go ahead and replace the tentacle miscreations. However, when replacing packs, you want to double check their density, as the new pack will inherit the density of the replaced pack. The Karui ancestors we have
Tattoos
now
are
added to our area
back.
can even drop basic variations of tattoos. If you aren't aware, this is an item type from the Trial of the Ancestors League, which can be used on passive skills to change what they do. There are many different types of itemized packs. You can find Breach and Legion monsters
Splinters
that
of
drop splinters,
Tool.
Untainted packs that provide insane amounts of experience, and even simple frogs, which can be used to replace difficult monsters to make life easier. And of course, these Ember monsters can be raised as specters too. Finally, let's discuss how this league works in in-game maps. Each in-game map will allow you to manipulate it using the lantern on the map device UI. However, instead of randomly cycling every few minutes, it is fixed to that map. Once you view the map through the lantern, you cannot remove it from the map device. So you can't trade that map away now that you've seen it as too difficult for you. Or has monsters in it that you'd rather avoid, like porcupines. We're also trying something new this time around. During the Necropolis League, there will be support for the League on the Atlas passive tree. Multiple clusters will be there, allowing you to enhance the gameplay, customize it, and even change its behavior in meaningful ways. One way that you can change the crafting in a meaningful way is with the Prospero's Wager Keystone. With this keystone, all the monsters with unresolved anguish come with this crafting modifier, which causes them to generate a random craft when buried. This means instead of pre-planning your crafts, you have to adapt to them on the fly to get the best results. These clusters will not be available in Standard League. In 3.24, we've made a plethora of changes to the endgame. We're introducing new bosses, adding another tier of maps, and streamlining the Atlas. The most difficult and most rewarding content in Path of Exile can be found in Uber Pinnacle bosses, such as the Maven and the Searing Exarch. Currently, the only way to access these bosses is by allocating specific keystones on the Atlas passive tree. While this system offers a nice element of control, it causes a problem. Rewards and access to the non-Uber variants are now economically priced around the rewards of the Uber fights. This means it is wasteful to run the non-Uber variants instead of simply selling them. Another problem that we noticed is the difficulty jump between the Pinnacle and Uber Pinnacle content was relatively large. And there wasn't obvious content that could bridge this gap. Many players would give up on their characters before being able to defeat the Uber Pinnacle bosses. In 3.24, we will be making some changes to this. We are removing the keystones that give access to the Uber Pinnacle bosses from the Atlas tree, and instead we'll be adding a new set of fragments that give you access to this content. Where do you get these fragments? We are adding a new tier of maps, Tier 17 maps, which not only give you access to the Uber Pinnacle content, but also test your characters in new ways. They feature a new set of bosses, Uber monsters,
Ooh.
and a new tier of modifiers that can roll on the maps.
Ooh.
There are 5 new Tier 17 maps in total, with some surprising boss fights at the end.
Shit.
We'll look at a couple today, and the rest you'll have to discover for yourself.
Oh, dude.
First, we have the Citadel map. This map contains an ancient Kalguran citadel. You will encounter many expedition monsters as the signature packs throughout the map. At the end, you will fight Uber Uhtred.
Oh,
this is
shit.
a version of a boss from Expedition League, with all its abilities and mechanics enhanced.
Holy shit.
Uber Uhtred will even be able to summon 2 other expedition bosses to aid it during the fight. Secondly, we have the Fortress map. This map is an impregnable fortress, guarded by monsters from the Heist League. At the end, you will encounter an Uber version of the Unbreakable. Again, it has enhanced abilities and mechanics you'll have to learn and overcome. Each of the Tier 17 map bosses has a chance to drop a unique item, allowing for some target farming. However, these aren't
that a Uber
entirely
Katarina?
unique items. Instead, we've taken other unique items, removing them from the core drop pool, and rebalancing them to fit here.
Fuck
One
yeah.
example is this reworked version of Wraith Lord. It has 4 Abyss sockets, and allows you to summon an additional Spectre for each Ghastly Eye jewel socketed into it.
Whoa.
Another example is Mana Storm. This has been rebalanced to grant a lot more damage than before, alongside some more impactful mana stats, if you can get lucky rolls.
Oh.
Alongside adding Tier 17 maps, we have also changed the Uber Pinnacle bosses to have completely distinct unique item drop pools from their non-Uber counterparts.
Oh.
This means there is a reason to farm both versions. Let's take a look at the Shaper versus the Uber Shaper.
Okay.
The Shaper will drop these uniques: Voidwalker, Shaper's Touch, Solstice Vigil, and Dying Sun.
Okay, don't do normal
Whereas
Shaper.
the Uber Shaper will drop these: Echoes of Creation, Sublime Vision, Entropic Devastation, Starforge, and a new unique belt called the Tides of Time.
Okay. Ooh, that's fancy.
Another example of a new unique is this helmet from the Uber Eater of Worlds, Ravenous Passion, and these gloves from the Uber Searing Exarch,
Oh, Rage.
the Celestial Brace.
Oh.
Each of the Uber Pinnacle bosses
the
has
Rage
a
gloves.
new unique added to their drop pools.
Interesting.
We've identified another major problem with the endgame we'd like to address.
Archmage
With
Rage,
every
yeah.
expansion added to the game, we have been increasing the complexity of running maps. It's at the point now where a player must repeatedly execute a large sequence of steps to run maps efficiently. It can be easy to forget critical steps, and it can be tiring to repeat them.
Agreed.
To solve this, we are removing some systems, but are keeping what is good about them. The 2
Okay.
main systems we've removed are Sextants and the Master Mission Selector. It is not our intention to dull the content, however. We have completely reworked Scarabs to include most of the options that were previously covered by those mechanics, and many,
Oh.
many more. Let's take a look at some of them.
Wait,
Commonly,
what?
you might find Scarabs that simply grant access to different content. Here, we have a Scarab that causes Beyond Demons to spawn when killing monsters in your maps.
Okay.
And here, we have one that adds a Delirium Mirror. Each type of Scarab now has multiple versions, so if you want to fully invest in a type of content, you can do so. Here's a suite of Ultimatum Scarabs. This Ultimatum Scarab adds an Ultimatum encounter to a map.
Okay.
This Ultimatum Scarab of Bribing then causes that Ultimatum encounter to grant better rewards and its monsters to yield more experience. This Ultimatum Scarab of Dueling will cause that Ultimatum encounter to always guarantee the Trial Master boss fight at the end, assuming you can survive through all the rounds. This Ultimatum Scarab of Catalyzing will cause all rewards from that ultimatum to be catalysts, instead of other rewards. And finally, this Ultimatum Scarab of Inscription will cause all catalyst rewards from that ultimatum to be inscribed ultimatums instead. There are plenty of others.
Interesting.
If you enjoy divination card farming, you might want to use these. This Divination Scarab of Curation causes more divination cards to drop for each different favored map you have selected. But it also causes whatever map you're running to only drop divination cards from those favored maps. So if you want to try and aim for your Mage Blood and don't want to just farm Crimson Temple, then this Scarab is for you.
Huh.
This Divination Scarab of Completion causes your divination cards to have a 20% chance to drop as a full stack instead, for maximum dopamine. Basically, there are now just a lot of
Oh my-
Scarabs. You might have also noticed that they no longer have tiers. Scarabs are now all world drops. You can get them anywhere. Some might be rarer than others, but the intention is that there'll be a lot more options than before, and more interesting combinations to consider.
So
If you want
scarabs
to
became
target
league
specific
mechanics.
Scarabs, Betrayal has been updated to include most of them, and you will need to relearn which ones come from where. While this system is allowing you to heavily invest in one type of content, it is reducing your capacity for variety. To address this, we have massively increased access to content on the Atlas passive tree. You are now able to reliably get different leagues like Breach or Legion from just your Atlas passives.
Ah, okay.
Regarding master missions, content such as Incursion, Delve, Betrayal, and Bestiary, these too are now accessible with Scarabs, and have more reliable investment options on the tree. Not only this, you can now get Jun, Einhar, Alva, and Nico to appear together in the same map.
Yep.
We have also removed some keystones such as Wandering Path, Grand Design, and Growing Hordes. But I've added some new ones too. For example, Unwavering Vision. Back to
I need to read.
basics,
I'll read those later. I won't be able to read it now.
and Thorough Exploration.
Map bosses are
And we have
powered
added
by
some
wisps.
new notables such as Remarkable Relics, which allows you to try find better variants of Scarabs. Mounting Modifiers, which increases the values of modifiers on your maps by 2% for each explicit modifier. And Tainted Carapaces, which is just one in a set of many that allow you to target farm specific types of Scarabs.
Oh, dude, it's gonna
These
take
are just a
hours to
few
figure
of
out
the
what my
many new
Atlas tree
notables
looks
that
like
can
now.
be found on the Atlas passive skill tree. Lastly, we are giving you more flexibility in what content you want to run in the endgame. In 3.24, you can now have multiple copies of the Atlas tree, which can be swapped between maps at your leisure.
Hell
You can
yeah.
unlock up to 2 extra trees for a total of 3 by progressing through the endgame and completing core content.
Okay.
When you open a map, you can select which tree you would like to use.
Okay.
For a given league, you'll never feel constrained to playing your endgame a single way. You can also label your trees to easily identify which one has which content.
Alright,
With
alright.
all this combined, we're hoping to see new endgame strategies shine through.
Let's team in.
While playing through the campaign in 3.24, you'll notice a myriad of small improvements and surprises.
Righto.
The fundamentals of the campaign are still intact, but we've scattered fun encounters and secrets throughout Rayclast. The Dweller of the Deep has been trapped. What are these ritual shrines doing in the Northern Forest? And why are they giving me omens?
What?
This device looks safe. I should definitely use this on my items. There are plenty more encounters to discover. We'll continue adding more surprises in future releases, so keep an eye out. In the previous expansion, 3.23, we released a large number of transfigured skill gems.
You did?
These are alternate versions of existing skill gems that function in very different ways, allowing for more build and gameplay variety.
I cast down great
At
corpses.
the time, our aspirations were higher than we could achieve. We planned more gems than we could make. So, in 3.24, we're adding another set of transfigured gems that we have now finished.
Hell yeah.
Ice Shot, Incinerate, Artillery Ballista, Tornado, Elemental Hit, Kinetic Blast, Poisonous Concoction, and lastly, Summon Holy Relic.
Okay.
Hopefully those of you who missed your favorite skill having a transfigured variant will get that here. We will certainly be adding more of these in the future, especially for skills that are missing them still. Of course, we'll also be doing a balance pass on the existing transfigured gems. One of the main ones we're looking at is Kinetic Bolt of Fragmentation. As a result of this change, it is clear that the endgame potential of the Wander archetype really starts to suffer, mostly in the single target damage department.
You're right.
Due to this, we've added the new support gem, Sacred Wisps. This support gem causes supported skills to create 2 attached wisps for a duration. With these wisps, whenever you attack, they have a chance to also use the same skill, if you have enemies in your presence. And if there are any rare or unique enemies, they will always use the skill. That leads us into all the other quality of life features we're introducing in 3.24, and there's a shitload of them. Many of these have been revealed in teasers already, but here's a quick summary.
Huh?
We've added the automation and call to arms skill gems for being able to trigger instant skills and war cries without having to bind them to left click.
Uh-huh.
You can now hold down control and left click to automatically apply certain currency orbs until they achieve the desired result, or you run out. For example, you can hold down fusings until you reach maximum links. You will be able to control, shift, click currency into a trade window to automatically move all of that currency at once from your inventory.
Right.
Detonate Dead now has clearer telegraphing effects.
Bum, 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 bum.
When harvest crafting, the item hover will always be visible, so you no longer have to mouse back and forth to see the results of your crafts. When you use a Val orb on a map, the map no longer has a chance to become unidentified. Instead, it adds a new implicit. We've created a set of implicits that affect the areas in fun ways. Related to that, corrupted and mirrored items can now be identified. Breach hands now open upon approach, and no longer need to be clicked. Upgrades to Pantheon powers now apply to all characters in a league. You no longer need to grind divine vessels on each new character. With harvest crafting, you can now re-roll Uber Elder fragments. Fragments dropped by the Shaper cannot be re-rolled into fragments dropped by the Elder, and vice versa.
Gotcha.
Regarding Betrayal, we're removing Ashling's crafting bench as a reward. Instead, Veiled Orbs now perform that function. They remove a mod and replace it with a Veiled mod. These orbs now drop from Katarina and are no longer a world drop. Flasks can now be corrupted by Val orbs, giving random -10 to +10 quality. The capability to add extra quality to weapons, armors, and flasks has been removed from Betrayal. The Betrayal bench craft that converts an amulet to a talisman has been moved to Bestiary, and thus can be traded.
Yep.
Maven invitations no longer drop. Instead, when you have completed witnessing all bosses required to go to the Maven's arena, you can just talk to Kirak, and he'll open a map device
open an
window with the
invitation.
invitation already
Hell
in,
yeah.
ready to be rolled. Valdo's maps that granted invitations now give scarabs. No more having to waste Guardian kills to try get invitations to drop.
Thank fuck.
Next up, we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs.
We sure will.
Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Solar and Eldritch packs.
Ooh, Eldritch.
Each tier contains the full pack's face value and points, alongside several exclusive
Time to get tentacly.
microtransactions. These packs are only available for the duration of the Necropolis League, and will leave the store forever when it ends. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic, and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way.
Right.
The Solar series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions.
Huh?
The Cosmos weapon effect adorns your weapon with stars. Hitting enemies causes cosmic energy to spill out into the area around them. The Radiant Orb of Chance extra effect projects the outcome of items you've used an Orb of Chance on above your head.
What?
Remember to congratulate other exiles in town if you see them chance a powerful unique item.
Uh-huh.
Shine boldly with the Solar Knight armor set. The power of the sun radiates from your body, getting more and more intense as you use skills and emitting solar flares as you run.
If only I can be so grossly
With the Supernova level
incandescent.
up extra effect, the dead will be raised from the ground around you, before being obliterated and turned to ash by an epic supernova whenever you level up.
Right?
This one is my personal favorite.
Whoa.
The Cosmic Turtle Hideout lets you travel the infinite expanse of the cosmos atop the back of a colossal
What
turtle.
the hell?
Carry the weight of the sun on your back with the Solar Guardian back attachment. Witness it grow larger and larger as the energy of slain enemies is funneled
turtles.
into it. When it reaches its maximum size, it goes supernova and turns into a black hole, forever drifting throughout Rayclast. The Eldritch Pack series also has 6 exclusive microtransactions. Are you
Okay.
wondering if we moved the stash in the latest patch? Don't be fooled, because with the Mimic Stash Pet, players can transform into an image of a stash when in a town or hideout, and
What the
scare
fuck?
unsuspecting exiles. This pet follows behind you with its terrifying hand-walking the rest of the time.
What the fuck?
The Shaper's Slam finisher effect sends slain unique enemies into a
Final abyss of unending darkness.
Huh?
The Eldritch Hunger armor set contains a beast that demands you defeat it by embracing your bloodlust. Watch it grow in power the more you kill until it bursts from the shell of the helmet. Are you able to satiate its hunger? The seed within the corrupted growth map device expands its grasp on your hideout, the more maps you complete on your atlas.
Huh.
Equipping the Headhunter character effect causes skulls of slain rare enemies to whirl around you like trophies. They become enraged when you are near a rare enemy you are yet to kill, wishing for them to join your collection. Witness a reality where the struggle didn't exist, allowing the Eldritch Horrors to settle their own conflicts with the Eldritch Horror Apparition effect. Which of the Eater of Worlds or Searing Exarch do you think will win?
Okay.
These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console.
Interesting.
And will remain so during Path of Exile Necropolis.
Fucking turtle, man.
Meanwhile, the Shade and Disciple packs leave the store forever at the launch of Necropolis League. So now's your last chance to purchase them. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. We're just about to start the
Q&A
Q&A with Ziggy D. Afterwards, we'll post Path of Exile Necropolis' full patch notes. With release at the end of next week, our community team will be posting crucial information you'll need for Necropolis' release. Keep an eye on the news. On release weekend, we expect to launch the new Mystery Box and this season's Kerax Vault Pass.
Righto.
Thank you for joining us today and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to doing some awesome Gravecrafts and conquering the new endgame bosses with you next week. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
Is it up yet? Statement Star Stream stuff. It was mostly Path of Exile 2 stuff in the beginning. And they just like overloaded us with skills. It's not out yet. It's not up yet, is it? No, its teasers are still there. Announcement page.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games.
You sure are. Necropolis, I need to go back and look at it, to be honest. They went through like really fucking quick. Let me put on some smooth jazz in the background. Actually, well, we'll watch the trailer again and then I'll put on smooth jazz. Okay.
Cold flesh, dirt, maggots, and ghosts.
Render, please.
Our job is to keep them where they belong.
Uh-huh.
It's your first night, so you'll need this. A ghostly lantern for ghastly tinkering.
Because every time you go to a zone, you'll have, essentially, turn it down a little bit, a choice that you can move around. And that's gonna, like, influence the mobs in the zone to do different things. Rarity, hinder, accuracy. So you're basically choosing a buff to give them on top of their normal buff, and then some of them are positive.
Learn to peer into the souls of the dead.
That's kind of ROG. It does feel more ROG-y than it does Harvesty. So like monsters grant increased experience, 200% increased quantity, drop abyssal jewels. So you're giving them buffs of certain types as you go throughout it. And they'll be on top of the map device, yeah. So he like changed this mob type to be abyssal monsters.
Meet me in the Necropolis.
And then you do crafting, explicit modifiers, speed, chance of speed modifier is mostly likely a dex modifier, and then another speed. Plus 50 to speed modifier to your rating. So this is, and then you're adding in the one more corpse for speed, fracture, and explicit. 7 mod, I don't know.
You can pilfer shiny things from a corpse. But you can pilfer.
And then you choose whether you want to make an armor, a weapon, or jewelry, and what base type it is. And these are all the modifiers that are going to affect it.
For glorious things from a soul, I need a grave digger.
Okay. And we got the new 10 or 17 maps. And then a bunch of overhaul stuff. Okay. Uber Pinnacle bosses. This is where I'm spending all my fucking time. Man, League Start's gonna be hard though. I need a build that can, like, do some stuff. Do some stuff, man. Uber Lycia. T17s, yeah. Okay. Yeah, patch notes will come out soon. Alright, so I think I need to, like, pull up the video, the reveal video again, the VOD, because it's gonna have so much of the stuff that isn't, I think, here. This is gonna be some of it, but I think most of it's maybe here. There was a lot of shit in the VOD. Okay. Alright, let's put on some background music. And we'll go through it all. We'll go through it all. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. Literal elevator music. Let's not do that. Yeah, no, that seems like a fresh coat of paint for veteran players. It really does, yeah. For vets, this is like way more. Alright, so what do we got here? Quantity of items found, rarity of items found, increased experience, and then you just do, like, buff modifiers for the rest. Okay. And then you have the unresolved anguish, which is the ones you can capture. Okay. Yeah, it definitely does feel like that. Bury the dead. I'm shit at crafting anyways. Speed modifier tier rating. We'll see how it goes. The Undertaker's mysterious. Bury them in the mini graves. Okay. So plus 50 to speed modifier rating. I guess that's just like tier rating. Maybe there's like, if you have X amount of tier rating, it gives you, depending on what, like maybe you need 300 speed modifier to guarantee like a T1, T2. Armor items do not have a strength requirement. 5% chance to 5% chance to craft a second item for each undead corpse exercised. Weight of the modifier? I don't know, because I think weight is this one. 600% increased chance of speed modifiers. I think that's the weight of like whether the modifier shows up. And I think this is the tier of the modifier. Maybe. Like T1, T2, Tier 3. But maybe, I'm not sure. Explicit modifier +1. Okay, and then stores a corpse of an item, and that's how we sell corpses. Okay. Yeah, there'll be a breakpoint. Perform a powerful exorcism. Bury many haunted monsters. Strategically utilize vast combinations of different modifiers. Then exercise them and retrieve your perfect item. So we get Gems can be socketed in this item, ignoring socket colors. Okay, life damage taken recouped as life 34%. Big suppress, big life. Damn, that's a lot of life recoup. Holy shit, okay. Energy shield, recharge rate. +1 to max power charges. 7% increased effective curses. Okay, so we're gonna have a lot of, like, weird specific modifiers inside the things. I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where you're going to be making like the suffixes or the prefixes with the crafting, and then yeah, you're going to use some kind of, either you're going to try to fracture like a +1, or you're going to use Eldritch implicits or Eldritch currency to like modify it if it's not influenced to be the item you want it to be in the final goal. Flat to fizz, attack speed, accuracy, evasion. Attacks have 24% chance to maim on hits. So there's going to be very specific modifiers that are locked into it. Movement speed cannot be modified to below base value. On boots is a modifier you can get as well. Interesting. Yeah, it definitely does harken back to like specific synthesis modifier style things that you're going to be trying to like unlock on your boot and what shows up. And maybe that's what the speed modifier rating stuff is. Like if you have enough, you can get one of these or something. That's interesting. Okay. Powerful foes. Really excited for Poe 2. I mean, yeah. We still got a lot of Poe 1 to play. Then say when the new league drops. Next week. Friday. Defeating haunted monsters causes you to find areas with monsters that are blessed by devoted spirits. Devoted spirits cause monsters to grant you with a wide variety of different rewards, such as dropping more and better items, spawning shrines and granting buffs, and allowing you to find an NPC that gives you a unique item. The Necropolis expansion also introduced 14 new uniques, 5 of which are exclusive to the Necropolis League. Has 4 abyssal sockets. Energy shield +2 to level of all minion skill gems, +1 to maximum number of specters per socketed ghastly eye jewel. You cannot have non-specter minions. +4 specters. Alright. +1 number of socketed per... Oh yeah, you're right. +1 to max number of specters per socketed ghastly eye jewel. Per socketed. No, well... Yeah, it doesn't... Well... I'd have to look at... I don't know the wording for other socketed things. What does it say? What's Light Poacher say? What's Light Poacher's wording? In this item? Yeah, I think it's... I have to assume it's going to be in this item. +1 spirit charges per abyssal jewel affecting you is how Light Poacher says it. I think this is per this item. I don't think it's like +1 for everything. That would be insane. I think this is +4. Shroud. Per jewel affecting you. Per jewel affecting you. So yeah, I think this is +4 specters. Tomb Fist say socketed. Okay, yeah. This is +4 specters is what this is. It's still fucking cool, but Mana Storm. Mana, increased mana regen, mana gained per enemy killed, whatever. 100% increased mana recovery from class. When you cast a spell, sacrifice all mana to gain an added max lightning damage equal to 50% of sacrificed mana for 4 seconds. Huh. Okay, and this was the one that has like a really wide variety of rolls on it. Interesting. Sacrifice is not a cost, no. Tides of Time. Life recovery from flask, mana recovery from flask. Flask applied to you have 25% increased effect. Life flask gain 1 charge every 3. Mana flask gain 3 charges every 3. Utility flask gain 1 charge every 3. Pathfinder and a belt, especially for mana flasks. Interesting. Tattoos are back, yes. The basic ones. Yeah, it's probably 1 to 3, 1 to 3, you're right. So you might be able to get 3 to 3 across the board, which is pretty cool. Literally Pathfinder and a belt. Requires level 78, yeah, true. 1% attack speed per fortification plus 7 to max fortification. Melee hits from strike skills fortify. Stack fortify, get 40 attack speed. That's plus 8. Cleave gloves. Flail dude's flailing. Pathfinder with this belt? Yeah, probably, if you get utility on there. Lunch. This is the one that piqued my interest. Gain 15 rage after spending a total of 200 mana. Rage grants cast speed instead of attack speed, and rage grants spell damage instead of attack damage. This thing's fucking cool. Spellzerker, man. Spellzerker. Berserker with spells. The Angry Archmage. At 47? Oh, maybe, yeah. The Angry Archmage. Spelunker. Max Rage. So you get triple spell damage, attack speed, and movement speed. Raging Zerker, huh? Spellzerker. Spellzerker, huh? If that applies to the replace rage mods, hard to tell. Inherent effects from rage are tripled. It should be. Because it just says instead, right? Rage grants cast speed instead of attack speed. I'm pretty sure it should. Expect that to work, yeah. Triple speed. 2 rage nodes. Crit node. Aspect of Carnage. No, this one doesn't work, but you still get the max rage. League starts Spellzerker. Hope the helm is possibly to get. With the Uber drop? Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, I think this one is League mechanic. I don't think this is one of the Uber ones. This because Necropolis, yeah. Flamely Barrel stuff. Spellzerker might actually be a really fun league start as just a dumb idea. Just to be like, fucking cast speed! Just have so much fucking cast speed, max out like fucking all the berserking stuff, and just be absolutely nut on cast speed. It would be so fucking fast. Crackland Zerker? Yeah, something. Rage Divine Ire. Have like instantaneous charge up. Can you convert strength to int? On the passive tree you could. Winter Orb or something. Hold on, let me take a piss real quick. I gotta pee. I've been drinking too much tea. I don't know. Depending on the transfig skills, I might league start Rage Zerker. That just sounds hilarious as a league start. Just because it would be ridiculous. I mean, true, yeah. Divine Ire would be like super fast. It would be like bam, and you insta cast it at that level of thing. You just need to generate a fuck ton of mana, and you could like insta rage yourself. Because you could also like berserk with this pretty easily if you like really cared about it. Because you could just burn mana stupidly quick, unless that's got an internal cooldown. Alright, use the bathroom, baby. Okay, there we go. Winter Blast Frostwing. The helm is from Uber Eater, is it? Oh shit. Well, that would make it a little difficult to get my hands on. Oh, it is. Okay. It's from Uber Eater. Kind of a hard leak start then. Damn it, I was gonna leak start Raging Zerker. Spell Raging Zerker. It's cool though. I'll definitely do something. You're leak starting late. I don't think I could build into... I mean, I could build a caster to get one though. Like, it wouldn't be impossible to do some kind of temporary caster thing until I could get my hands on one, but seems like a little bit of a stretch. Embers of the Allflame. As a Zerker, yeah, as a Zerker, a caster would be kind of rough. Until you could get your hands on the helmet. Packs are harmless frogs. Packs drop curry tattoos. Drop splinters of toll. Timeless splinters and grabbed increased greatly experience. Tattoos are back. Basic tattoos, not the fancy ones, but the basic ones are back, so that's kind of cool. Definitely useful for some setups where you have like extra space in the old slap thing. Slap them in. Yeah, res fixing with tattoos, I know, right? Path of Exile Necropolis introduces new tier of endgame difficulty, which tests your characters in new ways. Tier 70 maps. They feature a new set of bosses, more powerful monsters, and new rewards. Access the absolute pinnacle of Path of Exile's most difficult bosses by completing these maps and proving your worth. Monsters have +1 max power charges. Monsters gain a power charge on hit. Unique bosses are possessed. Yeah, life as ES, penetrates 15 elemental resistances, physical as extra random damage elementals, and buffs expire 100% faster. Yeah, T17s give Uber frags. Area Fet. Monsters cannot be leached from. Movement speed. Projectiles. Oh, these are unmodifiable as well when they drop. Holy shit, okay. 4 additional projectiles, physical resistances, chaos, elemental resistances, non-curse auras. Players have 50% less area effect. Holy fuck. These are gonna be nuts, man. Double reflect. That's insane. Yeah, they're Valdos without the without all the weird stuff. Mines are saved, are they? Yeah, they're random drops, I think, or something. Okay. And then what? The absence of symmetry and harmony is level 85. The Eater of Worlds' full power is unleashed in the absence of symmetry and him. Okay. So you get one of these to drop, and then you could run the Uber boss. Huh. You can favorite them? I don't know. You need 5 of these? Huh, okay. Gotcha. Use 5 of these in a personal map device to open portals to the Eye of the Storm. Can only be used once. Ah, okay. Interesting. Well, that's awesome though. That means that like endgame for a lot of my characters is a lot further in because there is now another tier. Like you have your normal bosses, then you have these maps, and then you have Uber bosses. So you have like another tier of like progression and stuff that you get to 16s, and then you're like doing the 16s, having these drop as you're doing normal bosses. When you do normal bosses, you know, guardians and stuff like that, these have a chance to drop. Then when they drop, you run this and try to get yourself into the Uber boss. And yeah, gotta do 4 of these. Yeah, probably. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm okay with that. I'm glad that there is a another tier beyond T16 because I did feel like that we kind of needed another bracket. I've said it in the past, but it feels like we needed something else to go further beyond with, and having like a bunch of Uber maps basically that are part of the core mechanic and have drop pools and stuff like that that are specific to them in terms of like the Ubers and things is very good. I'll take it. Get to push characters further, even further beyond. We get 3 additional Atlas trees. Very nice. Can switch between those on the fly, which will feel super, super good. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, if 86 bases are back in, if ritual and stuff pops up in those. And then we no longer have sextants, and everything is baked into scarabs now. So different scarabs will do different things. Mirror of Delirium, ultimatum encounters, give rewards, always lead to ultimatum bosses. Okay, so these are going to be like stuff you just drop, and like, if you really want to go hard on a mechanic, you choose like the 3, 4, 5 scarabs that boost that mechanic and put them all in the map device, and just like, bam. Go into it. T17 mobs boosted by Alice. It is gonna be nuts if they're boosted by the Alice. Yeah, like characters are gonna I guess in a weird way for those you could almost like run a empty Atlas tree, or like an Atlas tree that isn't boosting it to a degree. I guess we'll find out. Divinations and full stacks. Favorited map divinations. New gyms. Oh wow, we're actually just getting the gyms. Oh shit, okay. Path of Exile Necropolis includes new skill and support gyms and a range of new transfigure skills. Automate your war cries. Oh, some of them. Okay, it's not all of them. Those are the 2 automated ones. New variants of Poison Concussion, Tornado, Ice Shot, and more. Yeah, they mentioned a few more. Okay. Tornado of Elemental Turbulence. Create a tornado of a random element that hinders and repeatedly damages enemies near it, converting physical damage to its element. The tornado will chase down enemies for a duration. 100% of physical damage converted to fire, cold, or lightning. Enemies are hindered. Max 3 tornadoes. Tornado has 57 increased movement speed. Interesting. Tornado Chieftain. Huh. Tornado used to have only 1 down, right? You could only do 1. Max 1 tornado. And it did the projectile stuff. 5 base crits, pretty painful. Yeah, 5 base crit, added effective 65. But fully converted. Prismatic, so you can choose. You're saying if you use the gyms to remove elements, you could have it do just one thing? Right. It's quality +1. Good question. It doesn't have quality on there. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's possible that's pretty strong since you get 3 tornadoes you just put down and they have a base duration of 4. And then they just tick, so you don't need to worry about like cast speed and stuff. You can just scale damage. Damage and crit. I could see myself League starting like Inquisitor or Tornado or something. That way, you know, you don't even have to go Prismatic if you don't want to. Fix the crit. Do the damage. Put down some tornadoes. Just have them like rip apart things. Guardian tornado. You're thinking for the Unwavering Crusade. Get the hatred to give you cold to fire or cold damage. I could honestly see myself league starting Inquisitor for it. Personally. Like, the playstyle should be really fucking solid. Because you don't have to worry about Prismatic in the beginning. You could scale your crit, get a bunch of healing and stuff, walk around, build around crit and spell damage, and then penetration, because it's triple elemental, doesn't matter because you just ignore them. Go pious path. Work on getting towards low life, you know, as you usually do. Don't worry about cast speed. Get some elemental damage stuff from there. Build semi-defensive. Early day, just go elemental overload maybe with it. Until you can scale up enough crit. I could totally see myself league starting that, actually. As a setup. Battle Mage Mariki. Give it a fuck ton of flat fizz to scale from. Joy Lynch. I wonder what the quality on it is. That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, no, I could totally see myself league starting a Tornado of Elemental Turbulence. Honestly. 5% base crit does hurt, but I think as an Inquisitor, you can probably claw it back pretty soundly. Anything, Giga? Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me, Edame, is we got the league. The league is like a crafting, build your own thing league. And then we've got a bunch of, we got a tier 17 map thing with the Uber Pinnacle bosses being split away from their normal versions. And they drop from tier 17 maps, which have like new Uber bosses, like an Uber Heist boss, Uber Lycia, stuff like that. And we got customizable Atlas skill trees, so you got 1, 2, 3 trees now. You don't have to spec into like Uber bossing things. There's different things on the trees. Sextants are gone. They've redone scarab prices, or they've redone scarabs in a way that they replace sextants.